Hi everyone, this is the beginning of my thrift series and I went to multiple thrift stores today. As you can see, there are lots of interesting items. The first item was a credenza, and here's the matching china cabinet. And this is not a current style you might see, but you can paint it or you may like that. It's actually quite pretty and it's in good shape and it's a very heavy, well-built piece. I did see a ton of green couches today. I thought that was sort of funny. I do see themes like that. I don't know if they just bring them from the back and try to stick with certain colors. This is Salvation Army, and this Salvation Army does color block things. So you will see the pottery, the glasswork will all be grouped according to the color. The decor, they try to do that. They don't do that so much with the pictures, but they do that with some of the home decor. As you can see, if you ever need a gold frame, wood, or even they had red, you'll find tons of frames at Goodwill and Salvation Army. This desk was $129. It was beautiful. It was heavy black wood, absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. You can see some light frames here. And yeah, they had pretty much, I was shocked. This was one store. Again, this dresser, you change out the hardware if you wanted to for $129. It's a super heavy, well built. You just need to sand it, probably paint it. But it is really pretty. That table was beautiful. The mission style chairs were absolutely beautiful. They were heavy, they were well built. If you've watched my videos before, you know that's one thing I always say is make sure you pick up an item, feel the weight of it, turn it over, look at the quality of the construction. And if it looks good quality, then buy it. It's something you love. You could keep it for decades. And that's what it's all about, is buying pieces you love that are good quality that you can keep and maybe even pass on to someone after you. I'm going to play a little bit of music, so I'm not just talking through the whole video. I hope you enjoy it. I did buy a few items I saw today, and of those items, I purchased on my eBay store, Bengabell, Bengabell at the end of the video. I actually have that on the last screen. It's also in the description if you like any of those items. I used to sell a ton of items on eBay, thousands actually, but I stopped because I got so busy. But I know sourcing items through thrift stores takes a long time and a lot of effort. And I love it when someone goes and finds pieces for me that I can then purchase from them. So I'm going to get back to doing that a little bit more if I see really good pieces. And hope you enjoy this part of the video. I'll stop back in just a minute to just go over a few items I see. And I hope you're well and you enjoy this video. As you can see, my Salvation Army tends to group things by type or color, which is really nice because it makes it a lot easier to figure out what you like. I tried walking around, but it was super crowded the day I went. I don't know what it was about all of the thrift stores I went to that day. They were super packed. It was a Wednesday. I don't know, maybe it was a sale. There were several people with me, so if you see someone walking close to me, it's okay. It's someone I was with. Or if it's someone else just walking around the store, I would try to avoid filming them. I just maybe from the waist down if I had to. These cups were super pretty. They reminded me of the Fiesta, where they were actually plastic. You know, at Goodwill and Salvation Army, you're going to find a ton of, like, I make jokes about teapots or teacups and saucers. You'll find tons of teacups and saucers. I also found a lot of Gibson dishes, which are not hard to find. They're not new. They're vintage. They're used, but these were super pretty. As you can see, they don't have the dishes to them, but they just have lots of little cups and saucers. I don't know what it is. I almost feel like these were donated. This was a really pretty piece. I don't know why, but my Salvation Army tends to put stickers over the manufacturer sometimes. It was a really pretty piece. I didn't pick that up. I did get several pieces from this particular location. And they're in my eBay store. But this is what I got. I got this bread bowl. I loved this piece. It was painted. It looks like it's hand painted. It's hard to tell, but it's definitely not a sticker. It's not some sort of decal. It's not decoupage. It is either machine painted or hand painted. It looks like it's hand painted, and the color blue was absolutely beautiful, cobalt blue. It's in my eBay store. And then also I purchased a resin owl, but it's a very heavy resin owl. It almost looks like a brass piece that's has patina, super pretty. Always find tons of water bottles and things like this. This video is sort of long because I went to about 5 or 6 different thrift stores, Salvation Army, Goodwill, and Value Village in my area. Something I will tell you about thrift stores I'm seeing, which is concerning to me because I love thrift stores and I love buying pieces from thrift stores. But one of the biggest things I'm seeing with thrift stores is that if you remember, if you've been around a while, 10 years ago you went to a thrift store, you would find tons of mid-century modern wood pieces, carved, pottery. Well, what's happening and now what I'm seeing is you're seeing fewer and fewer of those items, and we're starting to see the things that have been purchased in the last 10 years, which in my opinion isn't so great because those were mass produced, much thinner, lower quality, and those pieces, no one really wants them. So I'm starting to see fewer of the true vintage pieces and a lot more of what we've been buying the last 10, 15 years. This box was only $8 and it doesn't do it justice. It's not my style at all. I would change the feet out, but the box was absolutely beautiful. I didn't buy it. I wish I had. It's one of those things I was 50-50 on. This was pretty. That piece was pretty. It looked a little bit like the Murano glass, but it wasn't. And it was also the color red. Lots of amber, even though, we're seeing amber in stores now, but of course, amber is on and off through, the decades. Very pretty. Where I live, you will find some Native American pieces. These were actually resin and they were very, very light. One thing you'll see me pick things up and hold it in my hand and turn it around and look at the seams if there are seams. I look for things that have weight to them and have quality, quality manufacturing. I always look through the men's t-shirts. I don't know why. If I find one I really like a vintage, a rock group or something like that, I will tend to buy it, give it a good wash, and sleep in it with some cute pajama pants. I don't know why I was looking through these shirts. I think because I was fascinated that there were so many. I don't know what it is, if everyone cleaned out their drawers recently and closets, but there were a million men's shirts. Normally you don't see this many. And this was at a different Goodwill. So this is actually at the second Goodwill I went to. But yeah, it's interesting. And again, these were all packed. And I did look at you can look at the wall of a Goodwill or Salvation Army and you can find out if they're having a sale on a particular color of tag. And they were, but it wasn't necessarily what everyone was buying. So I don't know if those sales got people in and then they just purchased stuff. But yeah, they are, you always find these pieces that look like they're donated too, like the little, multiple items of the same thing, where it looks like a store possibly donated. I know there's one Goodwill about 30 minutes from my house that Target donates a lot of their floor samples to. And boy, if you can get in there when they go on the floor before they're gone, you are lucky. A lot of filing cabinets today, a lot of rugs. I did find one rug at a Goodwill that I thought was really pretty, but then it was actually the back of it that I thought was pretty. When I actually opened it up, it wasn't in good shape and it wasn't that pretty, but if you like something, get it. These were actually really cute. However, they look like they were mass produced, but they were really cute. And you could definitely stick this on top of a stack of decor books or some sort of science books on a shelf and they'd be super cute. Okay, so I'm going to let you listen to a little bit more music and then I'll be back to chat with you some more about some of the items I saw. Sometimes when I go to the Goodwill, I find really pretty baskets. This basket was really pretty. It was well made, and you could definitely tell it was vintage. It did have a few nicks on it, but I would have purchased this basket if it had somewhere to put it. It is from Home Goods at some point, but it doesn't look brand new. It's actually really pretty, and it's nice quality. I didn't find a lot of pottery. This was super pretty. I love this. I mean, again, I don't need this piece, but it was beautiful. However, the print on it was a sticker, more like a decoupage, I think, where someone put it in there. You know, these baskets give us this day our daily bread. I always find these in the thrift store. And I also found the one that you see also in every thrift store. It's like the metal, the silver metal. They're really pretty. Again, if you need something like that or you have a spot for it, you should get something like this. These pieces are going to be gone. Definitely seeing all the pieces we've purchased in the last 10 years in the Goodwill. And I mean, it's really sad because you think about the quality is not as good as it was years ago. So yeah, I think if you're going to buy vintage pieces, you better start now because I'm seeing fewer and fewer of those in the stores. You'll see from this video how few you'll see and how many tags. When I flip things over, you're seeing Home Goods, you're seeing Target, you're seeing things like that. So definitely if you are going to collect vintage pieces, do it now. This was really pretty. There's only one. But yeah, so I'll let you go ahead and watch some of the video and see what I'm looking at. This piece was really pretty. It was, I think it was Denby, a Dorito. This is actually a Dorito piece. And while it was probably around $60 or $70, it was missing the top. And on the other side of it has biscotti on it. And I just didn't love it. I don't know. I thought about putting it in my eBay store, but I just didn't want to. It was $15 and I didn't feel like it was really, I don't know. It wasn't 100% for me, so I just didn't buy it. So anyway, I'll let you walk around with me a little bit longer and I'll catch back up with you in the video. go to, there are always a lot of frames, and then you'll see a few pieces like this where it's just sort of, you're thinking, where did this come from? Someone's attic, it looks like. I did find quite a bit of, I don't know, I would say more like the stuff you'd find in people's attic in this particular thrift store. The Goodwills in my area are super different. I'm pretty sure from what I learned is that the Goodwills can be owned by different people, and it's sort of not like a franchise, but sort of like that, where each individual owner applies to have a Goodwill in their area, and they then decide the prices. And some of the prices at the Goodwills in my area are so high. And then you'll go to one 4 miles away, 5 miles away, and they're half that. So you do need to be aware of that. I think I do have to watch out for that too. There are things I really liked and I would love to purchase, but the prices were just way too high for what the item was. Years ago, I purchased a lot of items and sold them in my eBay store, and it was mainly pieces of china. And the favorite part of what I did was that I would buy sets of china. I wouldn't just buy a few things. I would buy like the whole set, Wedgwood, and a lot of really pretty English pottery, Spanish pottery. And what happened is that I would sell those sets of pottery and then have to pack them up and ship them. And I would pack them with so much bubble wrap and then bubble wrap on bubble wrap, and literally one set of dishes could be an enormous box. I had a lot of people from overseas purchase from me, and they would write me the most amazing comments. They would send me information and say, my mother had this set when I was a child, and I don't know what happened to it. My parents are gone. I really miss them. This set reminds me of my childhood. I've been looking for this for 10 years, 20 years. Or they had a piece that was broken out of a set, or some parts of it in it that were broken, and they were so happy to be able to find it again. The only thing I stopped selling that was because it was very time consuming, and the fact that there were several times at the very end, just before I stopped, where the post office broke. Like, I don't know if they dropped the box, but they ended up damaging some pieces that were really meant a lot to somebody, and it was just heartbreaking. I didn't like it. These rooster cups were super pretty. I don't need them again, and this was the Goodwill that it just seemed way overpriced. And typically the rule you have is that if you can't mark something up at least 3 times, it's not really worth it. One, you're driving, your time, and then if you're buying it from Goodwill, it's already a fairly low price. So if it's $5, you'd want to be able to sell it for $15. That's why you have to be super picky if you're going to do this. You don't want to buy something that has a sticker on the bottom from Home Goods that was $24.99, and you don't want to pay $7 for that. While you could mark that up 3 times, it's not new, and it was sold new for almost the same price. I try to turn things over where I can so you can see who the manufacturer is, and you can see this particular Goodwill had some pretty nice stuff. They had those red dishes you see there. I can't remember the name of them, but they were pretty popular years and years and years ago, but a lot of the red was coming off of them. You'll see in these pictures that there was one piece, the red had come off of almost the entire thing, and it was yellow, which I actually thought the yellow underneath was actually much prettier than the red. Not finding a ton of silver, definitely not finding any real silver. Most of it's just silver plated. And then there were pieces in here that were damaged. But, here's another thing I will tell you I saw today when I went to the thrift stores. I see a lot of people put things, had to be from relatives, their anniversaries, but it had personal names on them, and they were sending them to Goodwill. So it was like Mary and John, 50th anniversary. I just think that's really sad. Because I get that they don't want it, and that's okay, but who's going to buy something that's personalized for that? Maybe somebody. Here's a nice piece of crystal. That was really pretty. As you can see, it was $12. And then here's some really cute dishes. $9 for those, not bad. I would definitely pay that. Now this was interesting. This was, I think, Lennox, but it was like a place setting from a store. Oh, you can see I almost dropped it. But basically, it was $15. It was one place setting. I think it probably was in a store, a display, and the store probably donated it. It's just my guess. That's what I think. Because the tags were still on it, and it was just put together like a set. So I'm going to let you walk around, listen to some music. I know some people like music, and some people like my talking. I can tell you this. YouTube does not like all music. They they will, I hate to say ding your video, but they will demonetize your video if all you do is play music the entire time. And it's really sad because I personally prefer those videos, but obviously I want to be monetized. I'm not, I don't mind spending the time doing this, but I would like to get paid to do it, at least a teeny bit of money to recoup some of my enormous amount of time and effort I take in this and editing and finding the items. Anyway, so I'm going to let you walk through with some music. We'll try to do both, a little talking, a little music. And anyway, let me know if you have any questions about anything you see in the videos. I'm going to go back and continue to find really nice items. But if you see something you love, send me a message and say, I love that at, 26 minutes and 20 seconds. I love that, those dishes. Please go back if you can find them and let me know more about them. I don't mind doing that one bit. So let me know if you have any questions or is anything in particular looking for from a thrift store. If I see it, I'll let you know. And this particular store was another Goodwill. I wish I could remember how many I went to. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we went to. Not too bad. This one had a lot of stuff. I was kind of surprised. you'll see me jumping around a little bit. As you can see, there are tons of people there. Like I said, I go to thrift stores as often as I can. I have never in my life seen every thrift store I went to this crowded. And yeah, they were having sales on tags, but that's not unusual. Tons of stuff in this one. You can see this one was pretty stocked. But again, be careful because a lot of these items, you know, if you go to a thrift store like some of the ones in my area, the prices are just so high. You could almost go to Target, Walmart, or somewhere and get the same thing for the same price, brand new. These little cups, I've seen these at Walmart and a lot of other places. $1.99 is not too bad for those, but you can get those brand new at Walmart sometimes. I didn't buy them. This little pot was so cute. You can see I turned it over, and it looks like it is sort of older, not new, but not old. But it was really pretty. And then you go down, you see the typical pots. You see the pots, you see the colanders. You know, you see the stuff at every single Goodwill. But there were some really nice pots. That big pot there was really nice. Like, that was a pretty big pot. If you were making like something big, that would definitely be a good pot. And then you often will see it was like, I don't know, I was trying to do bend down there. But yeah, here you'll see like the little wood and the little plates that you cook steaks on and serve steaks on. And you can even serve like a little vegetables on those. Those are actually really cute. I don't know why. I think I was trying to maneuver myself around. So yeah, anyway, so then you see pots and pans. And if you see people with me, don't worry. There were quite a few people with me and they were walking all over the place. So just ignore them. One person with me was buying a lot of baby stuff. She's having a second baby and she's like me. You know, I donate stuff for my kids when they were little to Goodwill and Salvation Army, and it was very expensive, nice stuff. So why not go back and buy stuff if you find really nice stuff there? So it's always good to save money on stuff like that. Tons of photos. If you ever need pictures, you can buy these and then you can take the glass off. You can use you can put a different print inside. You can paint the frame. You could add embellishments to the frames, or you can just paint if it's a canvas with a manufactured print on it. You can do that. These crystal lamps were super pretty. And then you see the gold one in the back. Oh, these are just so nice. Again, I don't need these. If you watch the beginning of this video and some of my other videos, you'll know that I am going to start buying stuff from my eBay store. I used to sell thousands of items through my eBay store. And I stopped because I got really busy. But, since I'm seeing that a lot of items that are true vintage pieces are no longer found, and now the pieces I'm seeing are, the pieces we've been purchasing last decade that are not well made. They're pretty much manufactured all in one or two countries and they're just mass produced. I really miss the true vintage pieces, and when I find them, I'm going to try to get them and put them in my eBay store because it's getting harder to find true vintage, good manufactured pieces. This was a vintage plate with a pewter frame. It was really pretty. It's $2.12, and I think I've actually zoom in on it so you can see it. I thought it was really pretty. I was looking at the back of it to try to figure out who the manufacturer was. I think it was just someone liked it. It's definitely not new. It was vintage, super pretty. You see the crazing. It was such a pretty plate. And I think it's a really good deal, and it was in really good shape. Obviously, it was on someone's wall. I definitely think. I don't know. See, this is where you can help me as far as what I should purchase. Like, what sort of things are you looking for? What sort of things would you like to purchase from a dealer or someone who's selling things? Or what sort of things would you like to find in a thrift store if you were going? You can see there are gold pieces, brass pieces. I'm struggling to find really good brass pieces now. I can find brass, but it's thin. And that's not what I want. I want the thicker brass, the better pieces. You can see I'm picking things up. If you watch my videos, that's the first thing you do. You pick it up. What is the weight of it? How's it manufactured? Is it mass produced? Is it one of a kind? Is it hand carved? But yeah, if you have something you say, I've always wanted to find this or that, let me know in the comments. It'd be interesting to find out what sort of things people would like to find. The metal boxes are actually really cute, and some of them that are vintage are actually really nice. You can see this one originally had, I think, steel wool in it. It's so pretty. It was actually really pretty, but I didn't buy it. I only purchased like four, I think it was four pieces this day. There were some pieces I wanted to purchase that I didn't. I just was 50-50 on them. But again, I'm just now getting back into this. So I'll probably expand what I'm purchasing at some point. But yeah, really pretty pieces I saw today at this particular store, and the prices were incredibly great. So, all right, I'll let you get back to listening to the music and walking through with me, but otherwise, I'll see you back towards the end of the video. Hi everyone, back. And this particular, that dolphin was super cute, and I did find some of those that were vintage, but this piece just didn't look vintage to me. It looked new, but it was very, very similar to some vintage pieces I saw on eBay. I almost got it, but I didn't. It just wasn't there. Now you see those wine bottles on the left that had the grass cloth around them. Those, if you put a candle in those and let it drip down, if you've been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about. Those are super pretty when you do that. And you can sit them outside on a patio table. Sorry, I'm going upside down here. I found these. This was Value Village. These were Wedgwood. I couldn't believe it. I didn't purchase them. Hand-painted barley Wedgwood, made in England. Absolutely beautiful pieces. Look at these. I never find Wedgwood, but I did. I wished I'd purchased it. But I didn't. I think they didn't have like the plates, like the dinner plates. And I don't know. Washington Colonial, this set was really cute. You can see the crazing. Again, they're missing major pieces. False-graph, I can find false-graph everywhere. This pattern's really popular, but again, you see they're missing some components. And then the green on the end is really cute. This was a Value Village, and they had some really nice stuff. I did buy this. It was very mid-century modern looking. It was $9.19. That piece I loved. I cleaned it up as best I could, but I didn't want to take away any of the vintage looking patina to it, or not necessarily patina, but just this little bit of like wear to it that screams this is a vintage piece. But it was just really pretty. Those mugs were super pretty, but again, they were mass produced. They were newer, and I was really looking for true vintage pieces. Hopefully, I try to look for handmade. I try to look for hand carved, or at least something you're not going to see at every single thrift store or estate sale that you go to. I am going to go to some estate sales. I miss going to those. I used to do this all the time and sell stuff on eBay, and it's hard sometimes to get rid of the pieces, like to put them up for sale. I'm going to try. It is really hard sometimes. Sometimes I keep the pieces for a while, and then I'm like, okay, you can keep it for a few months, but you have to then sell it because you don't need it. You don't have room for it. Some of those pieces, I'll tell you, they're still in my house. I just loved them. And I try to buy pieces that other people like, not just myself, because if I keep buying pieces I like, I'm going to want to keep them. These bowls were really cute. They were actually plastic, but they were really cute. Let's see, what else? And you can see a lot of these patterns of the dishes that you see everywhere. I found this piece in the back, I can't remember. I want to say it was made out of wood, but let me double check it. Yeah, this was actually really pretty, but it was yeah, it was mass produced, but it was super pretty. Again, I'm seeing a lot of the pieces over the last 10 to 15 years in the thrift stores, and it's really sad because the true vintage, higher quality pieces are just not out there. This piece of brass was nice. It actually had some weight to it, but I didn't know if it would be popular with anyone, if anyone would want that. I would love to have comments. If you have time to put a comment, if you don't feel comfortable putting a public comment, send me an email. My email is in the description of my video. Send me an email and tell me some of the things you would love to find, or if I see them, I should buy them. I'm interested in what people would like to see. This was actually an IKEA set of glasses, and it was the full set, and it was not that cheap. I remember. I can't remember how much it was, but I thought it was kind of funny that you could probably buy them new for about the same price. I didn't know what that wooden piece was, so I was just like, what is this? This is cute. It said place tea light here. Very weird. At first I thought it said Tide, but it was tea light. Very strange. Here's the things I look for a lot. I look for wooden pieces like this. I wish I'd purchased these. The first one wasn't, it was okay. It was fine. The second one, I really loved this one. Again, you know, you go through and I'm just getting back into this. So it's like, okay, buy this, not buy this. I got really good at it before, and I could go through the store really fast, but I got to get back at that. I got to get better at it. You know, you see these Danish shoes. I see some of these sometimes. Usually they're blue and white. This piece was really pretty. I tried to get a picture, like a bottom of it, so you could see. That piece was pretty, and it was definitely vintage, but I didn't buy it. I wasn't wild about the colors. I don't know. Again, who knows? Maybe I'll purchase more of these in the future. But yeah, anyway, you will see if you go to my eBay store, Bengabell, Bengabell, all one word, and it'll be in the description of the video, and at the end it'll be on the final card at the end. And you see items, you'll see what sort of things I tend to look for. I try to look for things that are weighty, things that are vintage, that are hand carved, handmade, hand painted. This was really pretty, but as you can see, it was mass produced. So while I liked it, I didn't purchase it. However, not to say I would never purchase it, it's just I didn't purchase it this time because I'm sort of trying to be really picky. A little bit of milk glass. You can definitely see milk glass. I'm seeing less milk glass than I used to, but then you'll go to one store and they'll have tons of milk glass. This piece was really pretty at home. It was $12.99 new from At Home, and then I flipped it over to see how much they were asking for this, and it was $5. I thought that was kind of strange. Like, don't get me wrong, it was actually really pretty, but yeah, I was kind of surprised. These pieces were pretty. Those plaques were pretty, and there's just a lot of stuff, really nice stuff here. So anyway, again, if you say, you know what, I've been looking for something for 10 years, 5 years, I haven't been able to find it. If you're looking for a certain, piece of a set that you have that you'd like to find another, let me know. I can always look for it. Sorry if the video is a little bit, I don't know, like moving around a lot. The reason it is because these stores were amazingly packed. There's another brass piece that's really pretty. I don't know. I typically go to the stores Monday, Tuesday. I went on a Wednesday, and I went to a lot of them, and I went when they opened, and they were just so busy. It was shocking. So anyway, I'll do the same thing. I'll try to do the same thing later where I go to more thrift stores and show you things, but definitely offer your suggestions or recommendations if you have any. And I do hope you enjoy the video and you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Hi everyone, this is the end of the video, and I will show you the items I purchased in this trip at the end of this video. You can see I was looking through curtains, shower curtains, that sort of thing. I was actually in this section looking for vintage quilts. I've always wanted to find a beautiful vintage quilt from a thrift store, something that someone handmade. And I don't know, I've never been able to find the right colors of one. This is an owl I purchased. It's in my eBay store, a pottery dish that's absolutely beautiful. You see it's got the hand etching in it, and I absolutely love it. This is a vintage painted wooden dough bowl. It looks like it's hand painted. The bottom of it's like cobalt blue. You can see it has a little bit of wear in it. It is vintage. Absolutely beautiful. I try to get a close-up of the painting. You can see it does not feel like it was some sort of stamp. I can actually feel the paint on it. It's just super pretty, super pretty. It is in my eBay store, and this is one of those pieces I wanted to keep. This is the dish. If you watch the video I talked about, it's very mid-century modern colors and the style of it. It's just absolutely pretty, and it's a rectangular platter, and it's part of a big dish set, so you may actually have these dishes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and you're having a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.